Running a brokerage is hard work, so whether you're focused on building your own sales pipeline, hiring the best agents, leveling up your team's production, or protecting the culture you've built, you're in the right place. Real estate brings the challenges, and we share the solution. Welcome to the show dedicated to broker entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Brokerpreneur Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur Podcast. I'm Dr. Ben Spears, the Doctor of Flow. I'm here as usual with the big guy, Matt Vi. What's up, Matt?
Man, just living the dream, Dr. B. How about you?
I'm out here hanging with my best friend, talking about business. How could life be any better?
Right.
Matt, what are we talking about today?
AI. So we talked that, we're hearing so much about it recently, and we're going to talk about kind of what it means to a brokerage and some best case uses. BNSS, right? However many S's there are. BNSS, right?
That's too many. Okay.
Yep, something like that. Oh, it comes up every now and again. People are like, hey, what do I use it for, right? Is there, because I think we all know this. It's not like Chat GPT is the only AI, right? There is like so many other different ones, okay? And so just wanted to kind of touch on that just a little bit. Again, we help out because we know our brokers are out there working, right? And
yes.
So what we try to do is we try to kind of bring the heat, right? We bring stuff that's gonna allow them to not have to figure everything out themselves, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and some of the options with it.
Perfect. Well, guys, wherever you're listening to this, make sure you hit that follow button or that subscribe button, and go down to the links below after the podcast. After you listen and you're like enriched, is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you're enriched. And click on that link and join us Friday, Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society, just like Matt was talking about. It's absolutely free for any broker, any listener to attend. We talk about recruiting, we talk about retention, we talk about agent productivity. It's 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time every Friday. All you have to do is click that link, and we'll send you the login details to join us. Matt, give me a brief overview of how brokerages use AI before we kind of dive a little bit more specific.
Yep. It's the world's best research assistant.
Okay.
All right.
That's all I get to say.
There's so much more to it than that. Okay. But that's probably your entree into AI. That's probably a great entree. Okay.
I like it. So there are a lot of benefits. Mm-hmm. We just did a podcast talking about how AI and data can't be your entire approach.
Right.
Right. So if you haven't listened
to
that,
it can't be missing either.
Yeah, but it can't be missing either. That's exactly right. And go back and listen to that, and that one was a really good one. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of benefits, obviously, of using it. One of those benefits is efficiency and speed. Right. You talked just now about it being an amazing research assistant. I know for a fact the content. Not only necessarily the quality, but especially the quantity of things that we're able to produce for our clients, and then obviously refine and make sure that so that's the key, has gone through the roof.
Absolutely.
Since this has been unleashed.
So let me. There's not been one thing that we've been able to get content with that hasn't had to be refined.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stress that part enough.
Completely agree.
And here's my biggest worry about AI and the posting, right? So there are programs, and we'll get into what a few of them are and what they do and everything. But there's programs that you can tell it to go write something, and you can have it, of course, synced up to your account, and just tell it go ahead and post it, and it'll post whatever that blog post was or whatever without somebody reading it. That scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it should scare the hell out of you too.
Right.
Meaning listeners.
Absolutely. So when you put that out there, you're telling somebody, hey, I've put this together, right? Unless you're going to put at the beginning of the article, hey, AI wrote this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
if you're going to put, hey, AI wrote this, then okay. Yeah, right. So remind me to tell you about the Screen Actors Guild and all of that with just remind me Screen Actors Guild, okay?
Yep.
So we've been able to put a lot of things out there together, and put it out there that have been extremely helpful to us.
Yes.
What worries me more than anything with the content is I don't want somebody reaching out to me thinking I wrote something and me not having any damn idea what I wrote.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there's a lot of people that are okay with that, and you can tell by some of the articles that are written.
Of course.
Okay. And so what they're doing is they're using that to generate leads back to them, generate interest and engagement back to them. I love it. Go get them, Tiger. Okay. But I don't want somebody to reach out to me based on trying to understand some information that I don't have any idea what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So that I would be extremely cautious about. That's why I always say it's the greatest research assistant.
Yeah.
You're still, as the broker, the professor.
The author.
That's exactly right. And so that's how I would probably, that is absolutely people's entree into this. That's how they enter into this world, in my opinion. If you're not in there already, that's how you get in there. Go ask it to do some things for you that you can review. And like you said, the quantity of what it gives you is really good. Very good, much better than you could do yourself. There's nobody that could do it as efficiently as what it does. Nobody. It's not even close. The quality, though, being able to take that and being able to put it out in front of people and have your spin on it and have turned it authentically into you, I think is the exciting part about AI. And it takes no time to do it, provided you have an understanding, one, of how to generate it with AI correctly, and then two, that you have enough expertise to know what is shit and what isn't and what it generated.
right.
Right? Then I think you're going to get a tremendous amount out of it, and it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit you a lot. I think people know this, especially our clients. Right? I write like I speak. It's all over the place.
Right.
Okay. So for me to write a blog post, you know this, it'd take me 4 hours and it was still a mess.
Right.
Okay.
I do know this.
Yeah. And so Ben and my wife would both have to proof something. Okay. Right. Whenever I would write it. And so it would take forever. It was good. Content was fantastic, but it just took forever. So it was not worth it time wise.
Yeah.
Right. So then we started using AI probably about 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
And so we started leveraging it, and immediately the first thing it did is it gave me structure to my writing.
Yeah.
Now I was able to fill in the parts that mattered, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yep.
Absolutely huge. Okay.
Yeah.
This was long before ChatGPT was. I mean, it was there, but it just wasn't on the public scene the way it is right now, right? And so we dabbled with some other AI, right? So there's Beautiful AI, which we've dabbled with before, which is about presentations, okay? And it does a great job of putting some stuff together. There's AI right now that is specifically for PowerPoint, right? There's AI that you can create pictures with. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it's all over the place, and
only expanding.
Absolutely. And then there's AI like ChatGPT that you can just go into and say, write a song for me, or write a movie for me, or write a whatever it is, or can you tell me what this is, or what do you think of this? Go research that, go do that, right? All of that is fantastic. Okay. It's just like YouTube, it's just like Facebook and social media. If you go on there and you start digging into it, the next thing you know, you're watching a cat play a piano.
Right.
Right? So you have to know when you go into there what it is that you're looking for. There is segments of it that are very specific for what you want to accomplish, okay? I would think that most agents don't really need the presentation tool, okay? Because they already have their listing presentations and their buyer's presentations. There's a lot of places to get it and a lot of content and all that kind of stuff. I think
never ending.
Right. So there might be, but you might go to Write Sonic as an example and repurpose and reword some of what's in there to say it better, especially if you're using a presentation that is one that your company provided and it's got a lot of great stuff and you just, customize it a little bit. Well, now all of a sudden use it to write your bio and use it to shape your marketing presentation and use it to shape the script that you use whenever you reach out to the people that are in the neighborhood. There's a lot of different ways that you can use that. And there's a lot of different programs that can help you do that kind of stuff. Absolutely, you should be leveraging it. But truth be told, if you had 500 research assistants in the room and you could walk into the room and say, hey, everybody, this is what I want you to do. I want all of you to go find the best possible script and come up with the best script for me to reach out to a neighborhood for a property once I've listed it. Here's the property address. All of you get together after you found that script and quickly get that back to me. That's what it's doing.
Yeah.
But it's doing it in an instant.
Yeah, instantly.
Right? Instantly. And so it is like that, like I said, the best research assistant. It's like being able to reach into an extremely powerful room of very smart people doing, and it only gets smarter as you go through the program that you're using, right?
Yeah.
Based on how you set your prompts up. So should brokers be using this? Absolutely. Should they be watching cats play the piano? Absolutely not.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. That's what I meant.
Right, that's what you meant. So know what it is that you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then go in and start exploring that. And what it's going to do is it's going to open the other doors for you. But start with the information that you need. Here's what I would suggest: content for expanding. Let me say this. If you're a real estate broker and you look at your social media now, we do this a lot with our clients, but just putting this out there on the podcast. When you look at your social media, the people that are looking at it, do they see you as an agent or as a broker? I'm going to urge you that they need to see you as a broker more than they need to see you as an agent. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's difficult, especially if the bulk of what you put out there is as an agent. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you make that shift? You make that shift with content. How do you get the content? Do you stop selling and doing all those things? No. You use AI to do that. You use AI to help you make that shift in content. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's from a use case scenario and what you can use. That's just some basic examples.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble.
That's okay. You were
No,
born.
I'm a cat
You were
playing a
born
piano.
a rambling man.
I was.
So there's two things that I'm scratching some stuff off the notes here.
Yep.
Two things that I definitely want us to touch on. One is decision making, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have in our notes, right, enhanced decision making.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean, maybe it means this. I'm going to let you decide. That doesn't mean AI is making the decisions for you.
It can.
It can, for sure.
You could also use one of those Mad Lib books to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Insert an adjective.
Yep.
So talk to me about decision making. If you're a real estate broker, and what types of things, what kind of decisions are you going to ask it to help you make?
Yeah. So go back to research assistant, right? That's why I keep saying research assistant.
Yep.
You need to decide. You need to own your decisions. If you don't want to own your decisions, close your brokerage. Okay. That doesn't mean you have to own all the decisions. It doesn't mean you have to write all of that. That's not what I'm saying.
Of
But
course.
if you don't want to be responsible for your decisions, and if you're too afraid to make decisions, you should seriously think about exiting the real estate business, and specifically on the brokerage side, get somebody else to make those big decisions for you.
Yeah.
So, but from a decision making standpoint, it's going to help you gather things that can more effectively help you make that decision. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say that you're using, Chat GPT or one of the other big ones. So you go in there and you're deciding. Let's just say recruiting. You want to do more recruiting of certain types of agents. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you've got a program that helps you pinpoint which agents are more likely to move and which agents are doing the most productive. You're smiling. You're smirking. What are you smirking about?
It's cats playing. I was thinking about cats playing piano.
And so there's all these different places where you can get this data from, but then you have to decide, who do I really want to go after, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you decide, okay, I really want agents from 800,000 to 3 million because I think I can get them to the next level of their business. My comp plan is really aggressive, that works really well with that. I have mentors that are excited about helping with this. All of this fits what it is that I'm looking for. That's whenever you would go in there and say, okay, what type of correspondences do I need to have with these people? And if I'm going to send them emails, what needs to be in that email? If I have guides or lead magnets and I'm going to offer them, what type of guides and lead magnets am I going to offer them that are going to get their attention? Give me 30 social media posts that I can post over the next 5 weeks that are going to allow me to display my brokerage in the way that I want, because my brokerage is this. Allow me to display it. That's going to attract that certain type of agent that's between that 800,000 and 3 million or whatever it was I said just a second ago.
Yeah.
And it's going to kick some answers out for you. Some of them are going to be shit. Some of them are going to be no good. But some of them you're going to go, man, that's really good.
Yeah, that's spot on. I can use
right.
that.
That's exactly right. I can expand on that. I can change that. I can shift that. I can do right. Just like a research assistant. A research assistant's going to come in and say, hey, I found all of this. And you're going to be like, great, all of that is trash. But oh my God, you hit pay dirt here. Right.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. Please don't think that AI is going to fix all of that, to do and fix all of that for you. It's going to allow you to make better decisions of how to communicate those things if you learn to ask the question well, and then if you learn to discern the information and distill it into the answers that you really want.
Gotcha. Costs, Matt.
Yep.
Right. There's a cost to everything.
There is.
Right. I specifically want to talk about like operational costs.
Yeah. Let me bring something else up that I think is super important that I hope that I hope everybody understands.
Hey, Dr. Ben here. I hope you're enjoying this episode. If sometimes you feel overloaded or alone when it comes to building your brokerage, I want you to know that we are here for you. There's so much support available to agents, but hardly any dedicated to brokers. I want to personally invite you to schedule a complimentary strategy call where Matt will help you build a 3-step profitability plan that will immediately produce results. This is not a sales pitch. There's no obligation. Simply click the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the show.
All right, so I'm probably gonna dance a little bit here, Ben.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna dance a little bit.
Head on over to YouTube, guys.
Not that kind of dancing. I'm gonna verbally dance.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Never mind.
All right, so man, Ben hears me cuss all the time, and here's the reason why. I'm in the middle of doing a lot of things at one time. I don't do many things one at a time, right? So
yeah.
So sometimes when I go to save something that I'm getting ready to put somewhere else and change this and shift that and take something out of Canva and put it into here so that it can go in there because it's part of a lead magnet that's actually going to be for a podcast, when I'm doing that kind of stuff, there's an operating system that I have on my computer, and everything, it tries to push everything into my online system instead of my local system for me to be able to quickly grab it into my cloud, right? I think everybody knows why it's doing that, but let me go ahead and say this out loud because it's part of this conversation that we're talking about. The reason why it's doing that is so that it can own what it is that I've created. You know, I bought the computer, but I'm leasing all the software, every bit of it.
Right.
And in the licensing agreement, it says that. Hey, you only get to use this as much as you want to use it. And if I'm not saving things locally and I decide to not renew, everything that I've built and created and have and everything, it's being held hostage. I don't get to get that later if I don't keep playing their game.
Right.
We all know that, right?
Right.
Okay. AI is a worse example of that. Something that I think is going to be a big deal coming in the near future. People are creating things like blog posts and social posts and all of this content and all of this stuff, and they're making a whole bunch of it. And what they don't realize is they're leasing that information. They are not buying that. So everything that is being created, I think there's going to be a very legitimate argument for whether it is yours and how you can use it. Okay?
Yeah.
And so if I go into, we use Writesonic, right? I like Writesonic because a lot of what we do is the content, and it fits that really well.
Yep.
So I go in there and I create something. I take it out of there and I shift it and build it somewhere else, and then I get it presentable in Canva. Okay.
Right.
If I left it up to all of them, if my computer were to not have internet anymore, a lot of that content would not be available to me.
Right.
If I quit paying, now I do it because I drive it to a place that's local. Okay.
Right.
But it takes a lot of steps to get things to a place that's local.
Of course.
And that's where that cussing comes in that we were talking about just a minute ago.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yep. Yeah, I know you have. And the reason why is I'm trying to get it somewhere that is not in their monthly subscription environment.
Right.
I'm trying to get it somewhere where it's mine.
Right.
Okay. Part of the reason Ben and I launched a podcast was Ben, you know, you've heard, I'll give you the very abridged version of this. Ben said, "Hey Matt, my media company is going to offer a course on open houses. Do you have anything on open houses?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I break out this hard drive that's got basically a terabyte of shit on it that is everything under the sun, including some stuff about open houses. And Ben was like, "Holy crap. Where is all of this? Where'd you get it? Where'd it come from?" Some of it I created, some of it I came across and whatever and all that, right? Just stumbled across it, right? Like Jeff saying he wanted a mentoring program. We were on a whatever that was, and he said, "Yeah, I wanted a mentoring program." So I went back and grabbed the one that Matt created in 2006, and was able to shape that so that we could use it now. The reason why he had it was because he kept it local, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the issue when it comes to cost with any type of AI. I'm going to urge everyone to understand that you are leasing this.
Yeah.
You are buying a license to this, is all you're doing. You do not own this. So you get that data and you put it where you need it and where you can hold on to it, so that if you decide to not pay for it anymore, you still have whatever that is that you created. There's going to be an argument soon about whether that's even yours because of what created it.
Absolutely, there will.
Okay.
Yeah, I've read a lot of articles about that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's already coming. Right.
Yep.
So okay. So that's number one. Do you really own it? That's part of the reason why I'm urging everyone to shape it. When you go get that information, use it as a framework, use it as research assistance, because otherwise somebody's going to come along and say at some point, this isn't yours.
This isn't yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I wrote almost that exact same thing too.
What's that?
Meaning someone's going to see that too.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because it's going to pull and someone else is going to say, whoa, like,
Yeah.
that's pretty much identical too.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just something that I wrote.
Right.
Or, the same person's asking the same question on the other side of the planet.
Right.
And it's giving them a very
similar
thing.
answer. Yeah. And you can tell it to be plagiarism free. Right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
you can tell it, say, make this completely original content. But when you're talking about really hyper specific things, the best way to make sure that it's really originally content is it to be yours.
It's for it to be original content.
That's right. So okay, so that's part of it. But as far as cost, it's really inexpensive right now. Okay,
Yeah.
there's some really good options that are very inexpensive, and you can get a lot of it for not a whole lot of money right now, because what it's basically doing, I think, just let me throw something else out there to just give an evolution to this, just to make sure people understand how this is all coming into play. So 2 years ago, we were looking for a service to transcribe our YouTube videos, right?
Yes.
We were getting ready to pay money,
Yeah.
okay, for that. And then I think you read something that said, hey, YouTube is working on being able to transcribe all this, right, and everything. Yeah. And so I think that everybody's probably heard this before. There is more content uploaded to YouTube every day than has ever been written.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So now what's happening is all of these servers, because the first thing that it did, YouTube came out and said, hey, we're going to transcribe this for everybody. We're going to transcribe all your videos. And everybody's like, oh, that's great, except for the transcription company software people. They're like,
no.
Well, need a new plan.
Yeah.
Right. So they came, and so everybody's like, oh, that's fantastic. And then about a year later, they start saying, hey, we've got this incredible database of all this information about that's AI that's going to answer these questions, and it has a smart way of thinking. Well, a big part of what it did is it went to, I'm sure, YouTube and said, okay, all of this is transcribed now.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and catalog and search through this and understand this and know this, and there's answers, and you can leverage, and now there's people talking. And so all of a sudden, it took what we were verbally doing with each other through YouTube, and it put it in a way that the system could understand it, so that it could start getting answers from it.
Yeah.
So that AI could start getting answers from it. So it's not that Google was like, hey, we'd love to offer the transcriptions for you, and that's cool because that's just one more thing we do for you.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Right. This is all for you. It was the easiest way of being able to compile that to make it more accessible for a massive amount of information to be accessible. That's the risk with AI. More than has ever been written is uploaded every day. It's all being transcribed, and it's all being handed to something that can take all of that information and now review it.
Yeah.
And some of what's on YouTube is a load of shit. And some of what's on YouTube is absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
But now AI is looking through all of it and helping other people formulate opinions and blog posts and all that kind of stuff based on that.
Yeah, just the words.
It's not going from website to website. Well, it is, but it's not just going from website to website. It's going to what people are talking about.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So right now it's inexpensive.
Right.
And I don't know when the cost will go up and how the cost will go up. I would think that we're going to start seeing it compartmentalized, meaning do you want to create a picture of yourself and everything? There's AI now that you can take a picture of yourself and create a like a profile picture that's a business profile picture.
Mm-hmm.
You can add hair, take hair away, mustache, beard, put whatever suit you want on, thin yourself out, and it looks as real as it can look. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like souped up version of Glamour Shots, and so that's already segmented. That piece is already there, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of all of these pieces that pop up, and then it's going to circle back to something's going to work between all these pieces.
Yeah.
That's when it gets expensive. In my opinion, that's when it gets expensive. And so, we've had Jill Shufflebein on before, right? And
Yep.
Jill came on and, she talked about, deep fake, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's not what it was. There was another angle to it, but that's kind of what was going on to it. So let's, I think this is the, where we wanted to talk about the Screen Actors Guild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me get to that and then we'll wrap up. Okay. Because I know I'm rambling here a little bit. So, you can ask my wife, okay? This has been 20 years if it was a year.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, you know what's going to happen? I said, at some point, they're going to be so good at this computer generated stuff.
CGI.
Yeah. All right. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, they're going to basically take the likeness. They're going to pay an actor for their likeness. And then they're just going to be able to make movies forever with that actor's likeness. Because,
Yeah.
think about it. How many times do they have to get a new James Bond? James Bond was the one that made me think of this.
Yeah.
There's been some cool James Bonds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Daniel Craig is awesome James Bond, right? Pierce Brosnan I thought was an awesome James Bond. Roger Moore is an awesome James Bond. Sean Connery is an awesome James Bond, right? But imagine James Bond now, you being able to create the entire series of all the books with Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that James Bond is Matt Vi. I said at some point they're going to be able to say, do you want to watch a movie that is Matt Vi as James Bond? And I get to be the hero and go through all of the different whatever it is, and I pay for my movie that I am the star of. I said as soon as they can put Pierce Brosnan in all of the movies, they're going to be able to put Matt Vi in all of the movies.
Yeah.
And my wife, just like the other people we were sitting there drinking with, were like, "What in the hell is this guy talking about? Take his crown out of his hand. He's had way too much." And Tammy, my wife, said yesterday, the day before, Screen Actors Guild, they're striking or they're picketing, and part of what they were saying is AI is going to get out of hand, and they're basically saying my job is at risk here.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a chance that my likeness is not needed the same way that it was before, and that I already signed my rights away and all, right? So there is a lot of very real things happening that are going to have massive impacts on every industry as a whole. To think that real estate is not going to be impacted by it would be to be foolish. Okay?
Yeah.
How we're going to be impacted by it and the pace we're going to be impacted by it still has yet to be seen. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think that we know that part yet. But I can guarantee you that there's going to be some AI very soon that can answer real estate questions better than most agents.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
That is not far off.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen is people are going to be able to say, "Hey, I want to look for a house. What do I need to do?" And AI is going to start rambling through it and sending articles and say, "Hey, did you want a pool? Well, here's things that you need to do with the pool, and here's salt water versus chlorine, and here's this and here's that." And they're going to pull videos up, and a person's going to be able to watch YouTube channels and all this stuff, and they're going to be able to get everything they need that we as agents have been providing, some of us at a lackluster level. And AI is going to be able to perform it at a really big level because they're going to have access to all of that data.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being, I think you asked me how much it was.
Yeah, I don't know,
So
man. I don't
that is
know.
officially a rambling rant right there, everybody.
Yeah, you guys came in on a really Saturday episode.
That's right. So it's from cheap to not a whole lot of money at this
Yeah.
point for what you get out of it.
Yeah.
Certainly. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you look around and you see one and you're like, "Man, that's more than I want to pay," just look a little bit deeper. You're going to find one that you're going to be able to spend almost nothing for. You can spend $120, $150 a year and get a great AI program that can help you out a lot.
Yep, completely agree with that. And just to add to what you're saying just for a second, I know like 20 years ago, I was saying, you were thinking about that. And I was like, I bet they're going to have the technology to take somebody's face off and put it on somebody else's face.
Nicolas Cage Face Off.
And then they did it,
Uh-huh.
right? They did it.
Yep.
I don't think that was real science.
Yeah. But they have taken components of people. You know that they've really done that.
Well, I mean, pull somebody's whole face off
Yes.
and then make it. Well, here's the thing. Here's the science, Matt. Right? Like the size of John Travolta is not the size of Nicolas
Nick
Cage.
I hear
And
you.
I'm just saying, all I'm saying in that movie, there's so many things that were off.
They've done some serious skin grafting with people that you're a doctor, you know this.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying that, John Travolta's wife in that movie, can't remember her name. She should have known.
There should have been. I got you.
Right.
She should have had some kind of idea.
She should have known. She hasn't been paying attention for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You just put John Travolta's face on Nicolas
Right.
Cage's body.
Right.
Whatever.
There's a difference there.
Yeah, whatever. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And,
Little rambly.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes we get that way, and I honestly think those end up the best episodes.
All right.
But if you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, and any of those platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, that bell right beside of it. You get notified every time we drop a new episode. If you're also on YouTube, go check out, the scene where they took the faces off of it, of Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, and and throw it in the comments and
Did
say,
the
"Yeah,
old
Ben,
switcheroo.
yeah, Ben, I'm not buying it." And so, but there's no better time than the present after that than to go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. Check out all the cool things that we have to help you grow your brokerage, no matter what phase or stage of the business that you're in. Matt,
Yeah, man.
we melt people's faces off with rock and roll recruiting information for one reason alone. Tell them what that is.
We just want to be part of your win.